You know, because we're having a lot of people now exposing, like you say, you've got the grooming gangs and stuff. You've got, I know certain situations what people, and a lot of people are being shushed.
Yeah.
What would you say to anybody out there who's like yourself? I believe in saying the truth. The truth needs to be heard.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be silenced. What would you say to people out there?
There are so many. So I'll tell this. I'm going to tell you one. So a woman was raped by a member of the Labour Party. This has actually been on BBC News Northwest last week. It was reported by Phil McCann. So I've been dealing with him as well over this. So she was raped by a woman. She's on the BBC report. She's known as Jessie, but that's not her name.
Yeah, that's the name we'll use. Yeah.
She goes to a senior member of the Labour Party for help. She's whistleblowing about the NHS. He offers to help. He then arranges to meet her in Manchester. They have dinner. He arranges to meet her again and go over everything, and then says, "I've got flowers for you in my hotel room." She goes to the hotel room, goes to pick them up. He rapes her. She reports it to the Labour Party. She reports it to Greater Manchester Police. She goes on social media. They basically suppress the investigation and get rid of it. It's broke her. It's absolute, because what they do then is she posts on social media that they've closed the investigation down and it's corrupt what they're doing. And you can see when you look at the sequence of emails, they're colluding. Labour Party and Greater Manchester Police are colluding.
So keep this girl quiet.
Keep her quiet. They arrest her. They seize all her property. They seize all the evidence.
On the basis of what?
She's talked about it she's exposing the failures at Greater Manchester Police.
The girl's been raped, for God's sake.
Yep. So then they impose a gagging order on her that she's not allowed to use. She's not allowed to go on social media. She's not allowed to do anything. So she contacts me, and then we go to. She's really traumatized by it. So she wants to tell people a story, like Phil McCann from the BBC, but when she's talking about it, she can't sort of put it in a concise way, and she's all over the place. So I say, I'll produce a document for you, and I'll put it in a document. And it's 9 pages long, and I go, give it to them, let them read it, and then go ask you questions on it. So I produce it for her, and then I'm tweeting about it, and then we appeal her bail conditions that are oppressive. In effect, they're not lawful. And you can't silence somebody. And we go to Manchester Magistrates Court, and we win. And I tweet about it, and then I'm
arrested. Are you arrested?
I go to the library in Warrington, and as I'm walking out, getting in my car, a Cheshire Police marked van parks behind me, blocks me in. I'm then arrested. I'm then interviewed on a false allegation of harassment it's just completely made up. In effect, it gets me into an interview. And then they show me a video of me walking out of the library with the woman that I've created this document for to help her, and she's a rape victim. And they want to know who she is.
What's that got to do with that?
Exactly. Yes, exactly. They wanted to know. It was like, this was all collusion.
The clutching, like the clutching at straws, and you know, that lady, that don't need to...
Cheshire Police at Labour. You've got a crime commissioner, it's Labour. We're exposing a Labour Party member that's, in effect, raped a woman that's 4'11" tall. She lives alone. And she, in effect, she had a professional career, very professional career, and she's had to jack a job in now.
Because she's absolutely traumatised. It's
genuinely broken.
It's destroyed her.
Yeah. And then you've got another girl that reported.
Oh, is this the one that you told me about?
Yeah, she reported a sort of crime to Greater Manchester Police. The custody sergeant then got all her details off the computer. An Asian police officer. He then sends her
inappropriate pictures and videos.
He sends pictures of his thing, and then while he's at work, he sends videos of him masturbating. and going, "Do you want this?" and all the rest of it. And then he susses out that she's not wanting it and says, "If you dare tell anyone or share this, I'll get you arrested for." It's like, I don't know what it is when you share other people's pictures without consent. It's called something.
Yeah, there's a law for it now. It's
Yeah,
like,
so,
what's the name? Yeah, I can't remember the exact term.
But
whatever.
she reports,
He's threatening her with that because he's
threatening her with
he's
arrest.
banged her rights. And...
So I say to her, why don't you report it to Cheshire Police then? So she does. And they refuse to take the report. And then I've told her to it, so I'm witness to it. So I've made a complaint to Cheshire Police. So you've got all these women reporting things to Greater Manchester Police. I've helped one do, in effect, a document to help her with, that she can go to journalists and she can go to the police and say, this is what's happened to me, without actually talking and re-traumatising. And then I got arrested for it. And then I've helped the one that's been sent all the pics and the masturbation videos. He's literally, so he's in the custody suite at Greater Manchester Police.
While at work.
While there's police officers in the background, and you can hear all the other police officers talking and doing policey stuff, while he's masturbating to a video and sending it to this girl.
How is that, like, that's just not acceptable.
Yeah.
And all, you know, and
so
and then trying to cover it up.
So she's now being harassed by the police as well. So you've got, so as soon as you make a complaint to the police, you know, you're going to get harassed. I mean, if...
You know, when people watch this and, you know, and they hear these type of things, obviously your experience with, you know, certain situations with councils and police forces and stuff like that. But when you're talking about women who've been raped, people who've been, you know, videos and rude pictures and stuff like that, this is why a lot of people don't have faith in the police, because not saying all police are like that.
They're not.
You know, I'm not saying all police are like that, but what I'm saying, when you've got police officers doing that and put it under the carpet, them type of things can't go under the carpet. It's disgusting, you know. And I just find it that the woman's found the strength to, obviously, the experience she's had, to go and actually, it's hard to go and speak about something like that.
They struggle, because I think there's a lot of women that are struggling with complaining to the police. I mean, I
don't think they're going to be believed, or they're going to, you know.
It's just so you've got journalists in Manchester were dealing with a child trafficked girl that had been raped. So while I was at Manchester Crown Court, they were telling me about this case, and then when they were dealing with this child that had been basically groomed, trafficked, raped, they took the journalist took the girl around, and she identified the locations that she'd been raped in. She then identified a Greater Manchester police officer that had raped her. She then gets, the journalist then get a phone call from Greater Manchester Police saying, shut your investigation down.
Don't print that or whatever. And...
Shut your investigation down, or we'll come remove your servers.
Remove your what?
Remove your servers. Your computer servers. So in effect, you won't be able to work. That's Greater Manchester.
How is that acceptable, though?
Well, every time I get arrested, Cheshire Police search my house. They seize my phones, tablets, kids' laptops, school laptops, tablets, anything that's got an electronic device in it. Doesn't matter whether it's a tablet for an 8-year-old or it's my daughter's education laptop. They're seizing it, and they have done. Mobile phones, the lot. Even the mother of my 2 eldest children, her mobile phone that has all their photographs on, and she's been dead for 8 years, they've seized her phone. Why? They're my daughter's. That's my daughter's possession.
Keepsake. It's like taking memories on there of their mum and stuff. I mean, it's not. I just find it absolutely outrageous. You know what you're telling us. And when I said to Ben, our producer, about like, I'm gonna get this gentleman on, and he's got a lot to speak about, and
you've only heard of what you've.
I know we only scratched the surface.
You've heard of 5. You've heard of 5 arrests. You've heard of 2 in 2021. You had 2022. You've heard the one about Jessie that I was helping, a rape victim. So I'm helping a rape victim who BBC have then done Northwestern. I actually did one. It was on the lunchtime news, the evening news, and I was the one that did the sequence of events for him. It was, and I actually went to court, to Manchester Magistrates Court, to overturn her bail conditions because I was the one that went before the judge and said, she has freedom of expression. They're oppressive.
She's been raped.
She's been raped, and he is. I know who he is, and I know his
Don't obviously
position.
want to say.
I'm not going to
mention his name.
No,
Yeah,
because, but they've not arrested him. It's like, it's just.
How can that not be? How can that not be? You know,
The Labour Party if the Labour Party have a dedicated sexual harassment team, and a dedicated sexual harassment team email as well, what type of organisation has a team to suppress? In effect, it actually tells her, they actually email her and go, don't talk to the press, don't publish anything, don't. They basically just, and if you do, you can be prosecuted.
Trying to shut her down, trying to like silence her.
It's blatant intimidation, yeah, blatant. I mean, if you were to go onto my social media and search sexual harassment, their emails to her
They're on there.
are there. Yeah, and all I've done is redact a person's name.
You just covered it out.
I've just, yeah. So you can find it, so you can just search sexual harassment and it will come up. But if you just search sexual, it's such an unusual word for me to have typed.
Yeah.
It will come up. It will come up with the bail conditions, and it was like they literally gagged her. This is a woman that does live alone, who's now lost her career.
Profession. She's like, what you know what I mean?
Yeah. Very, very professional job she had.
She's insecure. She's scared. She's, you know, it's
yeah.
It's terrifying when you even think about it. You know what I mean? And it's like, why? But you're hearing so many cases up and down the country where people, you know, are getting silenced over rape cases, abuse, you know, freedom of speech. People, you know.
You've also got to add in, then you've got Northamptonshire Police maliciously prosecuted me, and then that got dropped. But then what you've got is, you've also got the corrupt judges in the judiciary, and especially around here. So you've got them in Warrington. You have got bent judges in Warrington, and they know that I know because they know what I'm pursuing. So there's bent corrupt judges in Warrington. There are bent corrupt judges at Chester Magistrates Court. There are bent corrupt judges at Crewe Magistrates Court. There are bent corrupt judges at Liverpool Crown Court as well.
What was that? What you said to me when I spoke to you on the phone in regards to, you were saying about the judges. If people who might not know this.
Yeah.
Now, if you know, say for instance, a judge can, if you're not wanting a judge to be involved with that or whatever, it's against.
So it's if you believe that a judge is biased, it's quite obvious if a judge is what's called advocating. So the case against you will be by the police, the CPS. If you believe that the judge is advocating or batting for one side and is not independent, then that's bias. It's called judicial bias. You can invite the judge to just go, I believe that there's some sort of bias going here. You're not independent. Will you recuse yourself? And if they don't, you can then make an application, a court application to do it. So that does exist. And I think people wrongly believe judges are independent. They will uphold the law. And I think you've probably got about a 1 in 10 chance of having a straight judge. I think it's that bad.
Thanks for watching this clip. If you like what you see, click the link to watch the full episode. And don't forget to subscribe.